Madam, please unmute.
Okay, so this lesson is basically about, can you hear me, Samarth?
Yes, ma'am.
About this author trying to keep an otter as a pet. Have you seen an otter? No, I'm sure no. Yeah, because we don't find otters in India so much. They're usually found in a river or in an area, in a marshy and the river area. Basically, they live in rivers. So it's otters are actually wild animals. They are not kept as pets. But maybe in the area, Iraq and in that region, they do like to keep them as pets. But mostly they are kept as, they are wild animals. So here this, yes, good evening. See you after a long time. So that's the story. And since we are talking about the wild animals, I just remembered just yesterday I read this article and it said that how in Hyderabad, among the royal members, it was a common practice of keeping the cheetah as a pet animal. So they would catch hold of cheetah and they would like, you must have seen so many paintings and pictures if you have seen. So they have these paintings and pictures with holding a cheetah. So that was kept as a pet, like in one of you might keep a dog and a cat, they would keep cheetah. And for that, the cheetah was hunted on a large scale, so much so that they got extinct. There's not a single species of cheetah existing in India. The Indian species is no longer. The last sighted cheetah was in 1959. After that, no cheetah. So these royal members and these Britishers and other hunters and poachers, they hunted it on a large scale. Anyway, this is a story about otter. Okay. Early in the new year of 1956, I traveled to southern Iraq. By then, it had crossed my mind that I should like to keep an otter instead of a dog, and that camus, okay, that camus fauna, ringed by water a stone's throw from its door, would be an eminently suitable spot for this experiment. That's the name of a place. Okay, he had gone to Iraq, and there this place, Camusverna, it was ringed by, there was water around it. So he said, this is the best place to experiment with an otter. Okay, so he had decided basically to keep an otter as a pet instead of a dog. When I casually mentioned this to a friend, he as casually replied that I had better get one in the Tigris marshes. For there, they were as common as mosquitoes and were often tamed by the Arabs. To collect an Arabs, we were going to Basra to the Consulate General to collect and answer our mail from Europe. At the Consulate General, we found that my friend's mail had arrived, but that mine had not. See, he told this, he wanted an otter as a pet. He told about this to his friend. So his friend said, which is the best place to obtain a Tigris marsh? Why? Why Tigris was the best place? Because there were many otters there. They were as common as mosquitoes. So you can imagine how many otters were there. And the Arabs would train them. These wild animals were trained by the Arabs. They knew how to train otters. They were going to Basra. Why were they going to Basra? collect their mail from Europe. Okay, they were from Europe. They had come to Iraq. Basra is one of the cities. They were going there because the consulate general was there, and they were going there to collect their mail letters. I cabled to England, and when 3 days later nothing had happened, I tried to telephone. The call had to be booked 24 hours in advance. On the first day, the line was out of order. On the second, the exchange was closed for a religious holiday. On the third day, there was another breakdown. My friend left, and I arranged to meet him in a week's time. 5 days later, my mail arrived. See, they were waiting for. You understood what happened here? We are talking about the story of that took place in 1956, a country like Iraq. In 1956, you couldn't make international call the way you make it today. You had to book a call with the exchange. Okay, so you had to book a call with the telephone exchange. Then the telephone exchange will dial the number there. Because then they will dial your number, and they will connect an international call. So you have to first dial a particular number, book a call, then they would say, okay, be ready at 8 o'clock. Your slot is 8 p.m. Okay, so that 8 p.m. you should be ready. Then they will dial the number there wherever you had asked for. Then they'll dial your number and then they will connect. That's how the international calls were made, or long distance calls were made. What happened here? His mail did not arrive. He wanted to call up London and check whether England and find out what happened to his mail. So he booked a call. First day, he says the line was out of order. They said, no, your call cannot be booked. So we cannot make a call because the line is out of order. Next day, what was the reason? It was some religious holiday. Okay, so next day the exchange was closed because it was a religious holiday. Third day, it was another breakdown. There was again something was wrong. So his friend got tired, he left. This person decided he'll meet his friend after 1 week. He carried to finally after a week, his mail arrived. I carried it to my bedroom to read, and there, squatting on the floor, were 2 Arabs. Beside them lay a sack that squirmed from time to time. They handed me a note from my friend. Sorry. You're always late. Where is your friend, other friend? The one who stays just behind. So he took a mail, collected his mail, went to his room. And what did he see? He saw 2 Arabs squatting on the floor. And they had a sack. The sack moved, squirmed from time to time. They handed me a note from my friend. And what was written on that? Here's the author. He had arranged for the author. Read. With the opening of that sack, we begin our pages of that life that has not yet ended. And wait for all I know, not end before I know. This is the effect of carrying two authors and author message that I have since found to be shared by most other people who have ever owned one creature of that unward from the sack of the spacious time floor of the consulate bedroom. Resembled most of all very small, medievally conceived. From the head to the tip of the tail and symmetrical pointed scales of mud. Don't you want to see how that otter looks? Have you seen how otters look on Discovery Channel? At least try now. Me struggling from here, it's better you struggle. Let's at least see the picture so that. This is how the otters look. See, they're very cute when they're young. They are like big rats. They're basically big rats. Yeah, they can stand on their two hind legs. Are there any more pictures? Interesting.
This chapter.
Leader. I don't know why he had the fascination for otters, but that is how the otters look. So he said he opened the sack and a new chapter in his life started, which has not ended till now. He says, in effect, a thalrum to otters. So he says he was completely under control of otters. He has an otter fixation. The creature that emerged from the sack on the spacious tiled floor of the consulate bedroom resembled most of all a very small, medievally conceived dragon. From the head to the tip of the tail, he was covered with symmetrical pointed scales of mud armor. Read, continue, you are reading. Between whose tips was visible a soft velvet fur like that of a chocolate brown moon. He shook himself, and I half expected a cloud of dust. But in fact, it was not for another month that I managed to remove the last of the fur and see the otter as it were in his Understood? This otter was so much covered in mud. There were scales of mud. And he thought when he shook, maybe all the mud might fall on the floor. That did not happen. It was so stuck to its scales. It took how long for him to clean? Almost a month for all that mud to go and to see the real color of, because the Tigris river and it was found in the marshes of the Tigris. So they used to live in the marshy land. So therefore, they were all covered. They're always usually covered in mud. Here, read.
Mitchell, as I call the water, was in fact of a race previously unknown to science, and was at length christened by zoologist
Lutrugel, Perspicillata,
Maxwelli, or Maxwell's daughter. For the first 24 hours, Mitchell was neither hostile nor friendly. He was simply aloof and indifferent, choosing to sleep on the floor as far from my bed as possible. The second night, Mitchell came onto my bed in the small hours and remained asleep in the crook of my knees until the servant brought tea in the morning. And during the days, he began to lose his appetite and take a keen. Much to keep interest in his surroundings, I made a body bed for him and took him on a lead to the bathroom, where for half an hour he went wild with joy in the water, plunging and rolling in it, shooting up and down the length of the bathtub underwater and making enough sluice and splash for a ripple. This, I was to learn, is a characteristic of otters. Every drop of water must be, so to speak, extended and spread about the place. A bowl must at once be overturned, or if it will not be overturned, be sat in and splashed in until it overflows. Water must be kept on the move and made to do things. When starting, it is wasted and provoking.
You understood what he would do. It must be a joy to see this otter, play with the water. It says first day. What was his reaction? How was his reaction? Was he playful? No. First day, he was, first 24 hours, he was neither hostile nor friend. Okay, no reaction. Sant, no, neither hostile nor friend. Second day, first day he slept on the floor and away from his author's bed. Right. Second day, he climbed on his bed and slept in the night, slept on the crook of his knees. Then, next day morning, he was much more friendly. The author made one bed for him and took him to the bathroom. There he had a tub. He let him be in the tub. Since you know, otters usually live on the marshy land and enjoy water. He describes it very well how he enjoyed that for 1 hour he enjoys his bath. He says, half an hour he went wild with joy in the water, plunging and rolling in it. So he was jumping in it, he was rolling in it, shooting up and down at the length of the bathtub. Imagine he was jumping up and down the bathtub underwater and making enough slosh and splash for a hippo. Spreading water, splashing water everywhere. So basically, he enjoys. He has learned few characteristics of these otters. He says if a plate full of water is kept there, he will not just let that water remain there. He will go and he has to overturn it. If not, he will go and sit on it. So, and he has to slosh in that plate and spread the water everywhere. So that's what they enjoy. 2 days later,
she will escape from my bedroom as I entered it, and I could see his tail disappearing around the back of the corridor that led to be the
just 1 minute. How do I see others?
Okay, now.
Yes, go on.
Bathroom.
Okay, I turned to see his tail disappearing around the bend of the corridor that led to the bathroom.
By the time I got there, he was
Fumbling
fumbling at the
chromium tabs.
syntax with this
Pause.
I was amazed in less than a minute. He had turned the tap far enough to produce a trickle of water. And after a movement of his foot, achieved
Full flow.
He had seen the movement.
Lucky to turn the tap.
The people turned the tap the right way on the letter.
Occasions.
Occasionally, he will sometimes feel it up,
Still tighter. Tighter, chittering the irritation and disappointment at the tap's failure to cooperate. Okay, you understood? Like 2 days later, first day after he became friendly, he went and enjoyed in the bathtub. And 2 days later, when the author entered, what did he see? As he entered, he saw his tail. And where was he going? He went to the bathroom. What did he do? He went to the tub and turned on the faucet, the tap. He even learned, that means he's such a smart animal. He learned to turn on. So first there was a trickle and then there was the tap was open. He managed to on the tap, open the faucet with full speed. Luckily, this time he learned to turn it in the right direction. Sometimes he would, press it in the opposite direction. Then that tap would become all the more tight. Then he would start making those frustrating sounds, chittering sounds, probably, because he would get frustrated that that he would not understand, that he would keep on turning it in the same direction and he would further make it tight. And then it would not open and then he would get frustrated and angry. Very soon, Mitch would follow me without a lead and come to me when I called his name. He spent most of his time in play. He spent hours shuffling a rubber ball around the room like a 4-footed soccer player, using all 4 feet to dribble the ball. And he would, and he spent hours shuffling a rubber ball around the room like a 4-footed soccer player, using all 4 feet to dribble the ball, and he could also throw it with a powerful flick of a neck to a surprising height and distance. But the real play of an otter is when he lies on his back and jiggles with small objects between his paws and juggles, and not jiggles. Imagine juggles with small objects with his paws. Marbles were Mitch's favorite toys for this pastime. He would lie on his back, rolling 2 or more of them up and down his wide flat belly without even dropping one to the floor. So, what was his pastime? Most of the time he would play. And what 2 games he has mentioned. One is soccer, football. Okay, soccer. So he was like he would dribble the ball on his 4 feet. Okay, on his 4 feet. He would also toss the ball with his neck and he would actually throw it pretty far and high. And the next was he would juggle with he would roll on his back and he would juggle small objects with in his 2 paws. Let's read the entire lesson and then do the question answers. Okay. The
days passed peacefully and
Basra.
but I dreaded the prospect of transporting mesh to it and to
Camusfur, na?
transfer. The British airline to London would not fly at me. So I booked a flight to Paris on another airline. And from there to London. The airline
Insisted that
milk should be packed into a box not more than 18 inches
square
to be carried on the floor at my feet. I had a box made, and an hour before we started, I put milk into the box so that he would become
accustomed to it.
And left for a hurried move.
Okay. So because the airline, British airline to London would not take animals. Another flight to Paris. So he took book another flight to Paris. What did they say? Where will they keep the otter? He should carry the otter in a box. So he got a special box made because there were specific dimensions for the box so that he can keep it near his leg. He got a special box made. And then his Mijbil, that means his otter, should be used to that box. It's a long travel. And therefore, he thought in order to give him practice, he put him in the box and left for a hurried meal. Went for a meal. Yes, read.
When I returned, there was an
Appalling spectacle. What is appalling? Shocking. Appalling means shocking. Okay.
There was complete silence from the box, but from its air holes and chains around the lid, blood had trickled and dried. I picked off the rope and threw it and made which exhausted and blood splattered. It burned and caught at my neck. He had torn the lining of the box to shreds. When I removed the last of it so that there was no 30 minutes there. It was just 10 minutes and we were 9:05 at the airport. The airport was 5 minutes.
I put
I
miserable.
the miserable we extracted the box to get out of it. I sat in the back of my car with the box beside me and the driver. Drove through the streets of Basra like a
Ricocheting bullet.
like a machine today. The aircraft was waiting off to take off. I was just trying to get it off. I left the seat book for me was that next to when I covered the floor around completely. Then it was this. We were in the faster of place for which we can move place. I took her into my confidence about the events of the last hour. I remained the most profound admiration of the air hostess. She was the very queen of her town. She suggested that I might be able to have my bed on my knee and could have I could have kissed her hand in the death of my bed. But not only on the that was why I had to wait for my water.
You understood so far. This doesn't require any explanation. Okay, read.
Mate was out of the box in a flash. He disappeared at high speeds down the aircraft. There were squawks and shrieks, and a woman stood up on the seat, screaming out, "A rat! A rat!" I caught sight of his tail disappearing beneath the legs of a portly white turbaned Indian. Diving for it, I missed, but found my face covered in curry. "Perhaps," said the air hostess with the most charming smile, "it would be better if you resumed your seat, and I will find the animal and bring it to you." I returned to my seat. I was craning my neck, trying to follow the hunt, when suddenly I heard from my feet a
Distress chitter.
distressed chitter of recognition and welcome. And Mitch bounded onto my knee and began to nuzzle my face and my neck.
Okay. What happened then? That was the incident in the play. After an eventful journey, Maxwell and his otter reached London, where he has a flat. Okay. Mitch and I remained in London for nearly a month. We would play for hours with a selection of toys, ping pong balls, marbles, rubber, fruit, and a terrapin shell. And I had brought back from his native marshes. Terrapin shell is those small shells, tortoise shells that they play with. With the ping pong ball, he invented a game of his own, which could keep him engrossed for up to half an hour at a time. A suitcase that I had taken to Iraq had become damaged on the journey home, so that the lid, when opened, remained at a slope from one end to the other. Which discovered that if he placed the ball on the high end, or it would run down the length of the suitcase. He would dash around to the other end to ambush its arrival, hide from it, crouching to spring up and take it by surprise, grab it and trot off with it to the high end once more. You understood what he would do? He would throw the ball from that high end, then would quickly run to catch the ball or hide so that the ball doesn't find him. Something like that. Outside the house, I exercised him on a lead. Precisely as if he had been a dog. Read.
Mitch quickly developed certain compulsive habits on these walks in the London streets, like the rituals of children who, on their way to and from school, must place their feet squarely on the center of each paving floor, must touch every seventh upright of the iron railings, or pass to the outside of every second lamppost, Opposite to my flat was a single-storied primary school, along whose streets ran a low wall some 2 feet high on his way home. But never on his way out, Midge would tug me to this wall, jump onto it, and gallop the full length of its 30 yards. To the hopeless distraction both of pupils and staff within.
Okay, you understood what he would do. He was just like small child. You know, when he would take them for a walk. You know how children are. You take them, they'll jump on each square. Then they'll jump on every stone. If there is a pole, they will run around the pole. Then they'll move ahead. He would do exactly the same. So he says that it was like the rituals of children who on their way to and from school must place their feet squarely on the center of each paving block, must touch every seventh uphill on the iron railing. Some of you do know while walking, you touch the door frame. Don't you do that? I've seen so many boys doing it. I don't know why. The class door frame, the top part. I don't know whether you do it, but then in my school, sometimes I've seen. In my school, as they enter, there is this main door. Why? I don't know, but everyone, including girls, they will jump and touch it and go. Jump and maybe somebody did it and others just follow it for years. There's no meaning to it, but then they just do it. The same way, he would do the same thing. He would, some people walk like this. They put the feet exactly in the center of the tile. So that's what he would do. It is not, I suppose. Okay. What is it is not? Okay. It is not, I suppose, in any way strange that the average Londoner should not recognize an otter, but the variety of guesses as to what kind of animal this might be came as a surprise to me. See, in London, people did not know this animal is an otter. So everybody would make a guess what animal this must be. Otters belong to a comparatively small group of animals called mustelines, shared by the badger, mongoose, weasel, stoat, mink, and others. I faced a continuous barrage of conjectural questions. That conjectural questions means guess. I think it must be that. I think, in my guess is this animal is this. Conjectural is when you are not sure, when you are making a guess. Conjectural questions that sprayed all the mustelines but the otter. So they would call it, either, oh, I think that's a mongoose. Oh, that's probably, badger or a weasel. These are different animals in the mustelines family. Is that a walrus? Oh, sorry. But the otter. More random guesses hit on a baby seal and a squirrel. Is that a walrus, mister? Reduced me to giggles. And outside a dog show, I heard a hippo. Somebody said, oh, that's a baby hippo. Please. A beaver, a bear cub, a leopard, one apparently, that had changed its spots, and a brontosaur. I don't know what a brontosaur is. I've never known this. Sorry, dinosaurs variety, probably. Midge was anything but an otter. But the question for which I awarded the highest score came from a laborer digging a hole in the street. I was still far from him when he laid down his stool, put his hands on his hips, and began to stare. As I drew nearer, I saw his expression of surprise and affront, as though he would have me known that he was not one upon whom to play jokes. I came abreast of him. He spat, glared, and then growled out, "Here, mister, what is that supposed to be?" Understood? Once he was probably taking this otter for a walk, and this worker was working there. He kept his tool, put his hands on this hips. He sat there and he said, "What are you carrying? What kind of animal is this?" You know, the way he said it, "Ye kya leke ja rahe ho tum?" You know, the way he said it, he says nobody ever gave him that look and that tone. Yes. Sorry. Is it? You see? Opposite to my flat was a single-story primary school. Opposite to my flat was a single-story primary school. Yeah, I don't know. Explain. Explain. I'll just read it once again. Opposite to my flat was a single-story primary school, along whose frontage ran a small wall, some 2 feet high. There was a primary school, and there was a small wall, 2 feet high wall. On his way home, but never on his way out, Mitch would hug me to this, tug me to this wall, would tug me to this wall, that he would pull him, you know, on his way back, he would tug him, that he would pull him to this wall. Then he would jump on it and gallop the full length of its 30 yards. And अगर ball यहाँ से start हो रही है, वहाँ पे end हो रही है, he would go, he would immediately, as they would, on his way, he would never do anything. On his way back, he would immediately, the minute he would see the wall, he would touch him there, he would climb on the wall, and he would jump the entire 30 yards of across the wall. To the hopeless distraction both of pupils and of staff members. And that would distract both the children and the staff. Everybody would look. How many of you get to sit near the window? You sit near the window. How many times do you pay attention in the class, and how much time do you see outside? Maximum time outside, no? You have to, the teacher has to remind you that hello, I'm here. So here the entire class would wait to see his jump. And even probably the teachers would wait, you know, to see him jump. So that was our Mitchell the otter. And our friend is very, very sleepy today. Do you go out to play the garba? No? Okay. But then you got up early? Stayed up late. Were you studying or watching something? You have your exams now? You're done with your exams, no? You want to go wash your face? You'll feel better. Samar, did you understand the lesson? Should we do the question
ma'am.
answer? Par?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how about Par? Should
Yes,
we go
ma'am.
with the question answers?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So the questions. What experiment did Maxwell think caverna would be suitable for? What experiment? Yes. He thought caverna would be suitable for keeping an otter as a pet. Why? Why did he think so? Because
There was a large population of otters there.
caverna,
Because it was surrounded.
because it was surrounded by water. Tigris had large
So
population. So you can write that the author felt that caverna would be a suitable place to keep an otter because it was fringed or surrounded by water. the otters enjoy. Because it was ringed by water, very close from his door. Got the first answer, Samar?
Yes, ma'am.
Camasparna. The author felt Camasparna would be a suitable place to keep an otter as it was ringed by water very close from his door. Let's discuss the questions and then write. Let's discuss these 6 questions. Okay. Why does he go to Basra? How long does he wait there and why? Why does he go to Basra?
Gets shorted.
To get otter? To get his mail. So Basra gets his mail from Consulate General. How long did he stay there? For a week. And why for a week? Because 5 days. And after 5 days.
8 days.
8 days.
First, second, third, after 5 days.
But 5 days is written here. Maybe that 3 days are included in that. So 5 days. So he stayed there for 5 days. Should we write both? He stayed for 3 days to call up England. And then after 5 days, don't write exactly whether it is 8 days or so waited for 3 days for his to call up to place a call to England. And then after 5 days, his mail arrived. So you also write a vague answer. Because it is mentioned 3 days and then after, so we don't know exactly 8 days or 5 days. So you also write this answer. So he waited there for 3 days. Why? To call up, to place a call to England. And then after 5 days, his mail arrived. Fine, write the answer, otherwise you'll forget. And write it in points if you want. What did your teacher say about the trees? She gave the what version? The trees version or the women's
Trees.
trees version? Got it, Samar? Don't write 8 days or 5 days, right? 3 days he waited for to make a call and after 5 days his mail arrived. we'll mention both. Okay, because we are not making anything there. It can be 8 days or it can be 5 days. How does he get to the otter? How does he get the otter? Okay, his friend gives him an otter. Does he like it? So his friend gives him, when he returns back to his room, he gets an otter from two Arabs. Or two Arabs hand him an otter or sell him the otter. Should I write it? Had arranged for the otter when he reached when he reached the hotel room, there were two Arabs with a sack that contained the otter. You can simplify and write or write it. Did he like the otter? Yes. He was very. Why did he like? Okay, one reason he always wanted an otter, and this otter was also very friendly. He was very friendly and playful. The otter was very friendly and playful. Therefore, he liked it. He liked because the otter was playful. Why was the otter named Maxwell's otter? Because this particular species was discovered by the scientist, biologist, or name is very long. Sorry, zoologist. Okay. Yes, yes. This species of otter was named after the famous zoologist Maxwell. Maxwell. You can at least remember Maxwell. That Utrogel was. Who's the author? Oh, one second.
That was
Gavin Maxwell. His name is Gavin Maxwell. The author's name is Gavin Maxwell.
that Maxwell is the race basically now.
Milville, as I called the author, was in fact of a race previously unknown to science and was at length questioned by zoologists.
Logists, not one.
Oh, by zoologists. By zoologists? Okay, that's not the name of this one.
The full name of the
Breed. Maxwell. Or Maxwell's author. How does he get the author? Why was the author named Maxwell's author? So we will write that only that it was a rarest breed earlier unknown to the scientists, and it was then named by the zoologists as the whole thing you'll have to remember. Trogel, Priscilla, Maxwell, or Maxwell's order. Is it because he was the first one to introduce that order? Or it was just a coincidence that his name was also Maxwell? You know?
because he got it first. That's it.
Pick the right answer. In the beginning, the author was
Hostile and
no, he was not hostile. He was never hostile. Aloof and indifferent. He was neither hostile nor. So he was never hostile. So he was aloof and indifferent. Samarth, write the answers. Wrote the answers. Is a call to England. He waited for 3 days to place a call to England. Like that. What happened when Maxwell took Mitchell to the bathroom? What did it do after 2 days late after that? What happened when he took him to the bathroom? He got very excited. Almost for half an hour, he was playing in the water, sloshing and jumping up and down, okay, touching the water and going underwater. And what happened after 2 days? Bathroom and turn, okay, open the, managed to turn on the tap and produce water. Will you write it? Or should I put the points? So in the bathtub, while with joy for half an hour. Plunged, rolled, shot up and down in the water. If you remember these points, it will be easy for you to write the big answer. Rather than writing all long sentences, remember the points. That will help you. See, in the exam, you can write Nishbul the otter, when he was taken to the bathtub, he went wild with joy for almost half an hour. So if you write the points, it will be easy to remember. Do you want to break 5 minutes? Okay. This lesson was a long one. Usually we finish one lesson in a day, in an hour. Okay. The remaining answers will do later. Samar and Parth take 5 minutes break.